Hello everybody from Chicago. It's John from Windy City Origami. 皆さんこんばんは。ジョンです。Windy City Origami のジョンです。今日はライオンを作ります。Today we're going to make a really cool lion. So it's going to take 2 sessions. This is not an easy, quick one to finish. So we will be continuing this on Tuesday starting at 5 o'clock p.m. So we'll go ahead and get started.Thank you for joining. 皆さん見てくれてありがとうございます。これから始めましょう。Alright. So we have the diagrams here that were so graciously shared by Andrew Hudson. Andrew is a friend of mine. He is a very, very talented origami artist.And I am very honored to have the opportunity to teach his lion today. This was created last year in 2019, and it is a very beautiful model. I am really excited to fold this here today. So I have a larger sheet of paper, and I'm going to use this to fold the lion, just so I can teach everybody.You can do a smaller piece, and 15 centimeters is perfectly okay, but this I think is 24 or 25 centimeters. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So as you can see, the first step is to pre-crease, and I'm going to keep it so you can see several steps kind of in advance, so then you can kind of fold ahead if you want. But essentially we're going to pre-crease going from left to right.So that's the first fold. Get that crease into the paper. And unfold. And then as you can see on the top of the paper, we're going to fold these down to the middle. And these are going to come back out again.So it's a fold and unfold. So we're going to fold the top and also fold this one coming into the center. And I just turned the paper because it's easier for me to fold up than it is to fold down. All right, just like that. And then unfold. And now as you can see, we're just taking that fold we already created and folding it in half. All right, so we'll fold that in half.Okay, and now we're taking the bottom and folding it up to this corner here. There's a little point there, so it's just all you're doing is an angle bisector, and it goes up to that point there. Okay, so now we'll take a look at the next step, which is a squash. So this is an unfold, and as you can see, this is going to come down like this. So you're going to open up the paper.And then the whole thing is going to squash down. And this middle line is going to line up right in the middle here. Lines up right in the middle. And then you're going to crease it all the way down. And as you can see in step 5, that's what we look like. Okay? So now in step 5,what we're doing is following the line or the edge behind and folding it along that edge. Okay? So follow that edge behind and do a valley fold up. Go ahead and get that fold in place just like so.Okay, and it's an unfold, so fold and unfold. And then step 6 is folding from this line up here to this little point up here. And what we're going to do is fold it straight down. Okay, and it's going to go all the way across and touch both points. Okay, and the key is that the bottom piece is going to line up in the middle. So make sure that bottom piece is in the middle when you do that. Okay, and that's also an unfold. Okay. Step 7, petal fold using existing creases. So hopefully everybody knows what a petal fold is, but being an intermediate class, you're going to come on up like this, and you're going to see these creases here, and they're going to come right down and create that petal fold. So now we've got this really interesting shape here going on, and we're going to look at step 8 and confirm. Ours looks like that, and looks like there's already some creases here, so these are just going to fold up just as they are. Okay, so now everybody should look like this, and we're on step 9. Step 9 is turn the paper over. Okay, so turn the paper over just like this. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller here so everybody can see my paper. And now that we've turned it over, we're going to fold this top layer only all the way up. Now, how far up? Well, if you take a look, it's going to go as far as it can on the right. Don't tear the paper. Don't go too aggressive. And this point is going to go right up into here. It's going to touch right up at the tip. Okay, and it's going to go all the way across, just like so. Okay, so that's complete step 10, and now it's step 11. We're just using this as a hinge and kind of folding it over to the left. And now we are on step number 12, which is also folding the paper up, going right up into that corner once again. And take a look and make sure you don't go too far on the right side. So I'm just making sure mine doesn't go too far up. You want to go right into that corner. There's a line coming down. It's going to hit right there. Look for that corner. All right. Now, next what we're going to do is pre-crease the top flap only. Okay. So top flap meaning this flap here. So it makes it a little bit tricky. Now, top flap sometimes can be interpreted as, this whole flap here, or it can be interpreted as this flap here. We really don't know at this stage. So what we're going to do is, since if you take this paper and you try to make that fold, it's better to be safe than sorry, because you don't want to have creases on your finished model that don't belong. So what I'm going to do is start out with this one, and if I find out we need to make extra creases later, we can always do that. So I'm going to rotate my paper so it's easier for me, and there's a little pocket kind of when you lift this up, and you can fold this over to create that angle bisector. So you're going to go all the way up to the tip there. See how I'm starting it? And then fold it down, and what you can do is get your finger inside and push all the way in there. And what you want to do is make sure this paper lines up with the center, okay? That's the key point there. Lines up with the center. And then there, now we essentially just did the top flap, and we created that fold, okay? So, and next step, step number 14, pre-crease firmly through all layers. All right, so as you can see here, this little edge here is going to come and line up with this edge down here. So let's make that happen. We'll go ahead and fold this over. Now again, we're going to use this as a reference here. Come down. And that's going to line up right here with this other one. Once we get it lined up perfectly, go ahead and fold all the layers down, okay? Go ahead and get that crease in there nice and good. Okay? Now as you can see, it's unfolding. Okay, so we're going to unfold that. And you're going to have, when you unfold it, you're going to see that that crease, it should look like this, okay? We'll go to step 15. Now we're going to have to split this up as I mentioned before. 今日は終わりません。このライオンはちょっと難しいですからちょっと長い。だから途中まで折ります。So we're going to stop about halfway. So as you can see, we've got 51 steps. So I would like to stop around step 25. We'll stop around step 25 today. Okay, so we are on step number 15. So go ahead and zoom in on 15. And we're going to leverage this hinge, again, kind of going back over to the right. And make sure you're not introducing any new folds in here. So fold that over to the right. That's one thing that I kind of inherently, subliminally take into account for. Sometimes what people do is they'll shift it and then it creates a whole new fold in there. So just keep your finger inside. Don't let this paper shift when you move it over to the right, okay? That's step 15. Now step 16, we're doing a very similar thing. We're taking the bottom part here, and this little edge here is going to line up with this edge here. We'll fold that up, get it lined up. And once you get that in place, go ahead and make the final crease and unfold. Okay? And this, it actually does not show an unfold, so let's keep it up there for a second, everybody. So it should look like this. Now if you look at step 17, crease to the edge, then squash. So look at the key points here. We've got this edge right here going up to this edge up here. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So this is this top upper layer. So you're going to put your finger inside a little bit, and this edge right here is going to come up. So basically this top point is going to match this top point here. Okay, so let's get that going first. You see how that lines up? Goes right up there. Lines up. Now once we get that lined up, you can go ahead and press it down. And what you can do is press the whole thing down and just keep that lined up at the top. Hold down, put some pressure there, and go ahead and crease it all the way down into the paper. Okay, just like I did there. And then what's going to happen is it's going to squash down, but we don't know the actual angle of the squash. So it could be like this, it could be like this. Yeah, it can swivel. So let's take a look at the next step and see. So that would be step number 18. Okay, so as you can see, this is going to squash down, and this is going to be parallel with this edge here. Okay, so go ahead and get that one folded first. And then once you do that, this bottom portion, you can then flatten that out. Okay, so now it should look like this. Okay, now there's a trapped corner on the inside. So what you can do for this is you can open it up a little bit, and there's this whole paper here. You can kind of pull it out. You see I'm pulling it out? But before we do that, let's go forward to step 19 and see what it looks like. Okay, so step 19, the whole paper just kind of comes out. So we're going to go ahead and pull it out like this. Pull the whole thing out. Be kind of aggressive here. And now what you're going to do is, this is a mountain fold right here, right now. That needs to change to a valley fold. And then these inside of here, zoom in, these on the inside are going to become mountain folds. You're changing the direction. So let's go ahead and get that started right now. Okay, so I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to start creating these mountain folds. So that there's one mountain fold right there. And then I'm going to create the other mountain fold. Just like that. And then this valley fold, so as you can see, this from the tip of here all the way up to the corner here, that's going to be a mountain fold. So we'll get that one started as well, as you can see. Now what happens is the paper's going to move over like this. You see how that closes now? See how that's closing? Closes up like that. Press it down, and then this flap is going to go up and naturally line up so it's flat with this corner here, okay? With the whole edge, excuse me. So there, we just completed that move. As you can see, it closed that off, created a mountain fold here, a valley fold in here to line up right on the edge, so it's going straight up. All right. That was a bit of a tricky step, okay? I hope everybody's still with me. If you need to watch it again, you can always go back. That is not a problem. Step 20, all right, is turn over. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn the model over. And as you can see, our model is going to look like this. Zoom out here again. There we go. Okay, so everybody should look like this. And step 21 is hinging the whole model over to the right. Okay, as you can see, going like this. So now it should look like this, okay? And step number 22 is repeating steps 16 through 19. Okay, so let's go back to step 16. Okay, step 16 is taking, we went from left to right. We're going to go from right to left this time. So this one, now it's a little bit trickier because we don't have the reference up here anymore. However, we already have a line, and that was already kind of made to kind of get us set up for this, okay? So we'll fold this up. Thank goodness we've already got that line there. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is take this, the top, if you remember, the top here is going to go to the top here. Okay, so we're going to fold this up like this, and the top is going to line up here, and it's going to become 3D. So get it lined up perfectly. As soon as you get it lined up, go ahead and start creasing it down. Okay, so you're going to push, you're going to open up the portion down here and get your finger inside. Okay, and go all the way down into the paper, and then this is going to flatten, if you remember. It's going to flatten, and then this edge is going to be parallel here with this edge, okay? Pretty straightforward. You want to kind of firmly press everything down. Get those creases nice and firm in there, okay? Step 18. Pull out some paper. Okay, so we're doing the same thing. We're taking all this paper out. It's opening up. And now what we can do is that I'm going to do this first. I'm going to do the mountain fold here. Get that going first. And then kind of push this into place. And it should kind of open it up a little bit. It'll find its way. Okay, you're just changing the direction of those folds. And then once it finds its way, you complete the rest of the fold. Going up like that. And that's step 19. Step 20, turn the model over. Okay. And you're going to fold the whole thing over to the right. We're going to have to figure out exactly how that's going to work out here. So let's see. Let's go back to where it said repeats. Oh, steps 16 through 19. So we don't turn it over. So we'll turn it back over. Pardon me for that one, everybody. Take a look at step 23. Should match what we have in front of us, and it does. Okay. Hope everybody's looks the same. Yes? Great. If anybody gets stuck, let me know in the comments, do my best to reply. Okay, so now we already have a valley fold here, and it's a W-shaped open sink. All right, what does that mean? Well, that means this is going to go out like this. We're going to open it up. And then in the back, it looks like it's doing the same thing. Okay, so now what does that mean? Let's take a look. So the whole thing is kind of reversing itself. It's a W-shaped open sink, but it is also known as an outside reverse fold, kind of. It's an interesting one. So now this is that valley fold that we made before, if you recall, where we just did the front layer. And now that we have a better idea of what's going to happen here, we can see that this is going to have to be go through this whole thing. So we might as well start that process. So now we can't go back as easily, but really that top layer really should have been all of the pieces. So what we can do is turn it over and just mimic the same thing. Okay, so take a look at what we did here. This went across like this and created an angle bisector going straight down. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Create an angle bisector. Get that to go, and you got to push your finger inside. Okay, we're just doing exactly what we did on the other side, as you can see right here, okay? Now the whole thing is going to be, this is a very tricky step. This is why this is an intermediate model, okay? So the whole thing is being moved, and now I know why it's called a W-shaped open sink and not just simply an outside reverse fold, because this whole middle area is kind of going to be brought across with it. So, how do we get prepared for that? Okay, so that's really the question here. So we have some paper inside that's going to have to move with this whole thing. So what I'm going to do is, since we kind of missed the pre-crease in the past, I'm going to hold these down, okay? And I'm just going to get these started. Now normally, you would have these creases there because it would have been folded, but I'm just going to get it started. So I just went through this thick layer because this middle section here is going to have to be folded over as well. So I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to continue that crease all the way up. And as you can see, if you open it all the way up, this is creating an angle bisector, but as you can see, it's not going quite all the way up. That's because of the estimation that I made. So I'm going to slide it up, make sure I get that angle bisector to the full extent, and then crease it down. So this is going to go right up into the center. I'm going to get that crease going really good, okay? Now if I close it back, now I have that going through the middle, okay? So don't be afraid to open it up. Okay, so now you've got the crease here. You've got the crease on the other side, right here. An angle bisector here. And now we have the crease in the middle. So now here's what's going to happen, okay? Hold it like this. This whole thing is going to open up, okay? What's going to happen is that this is going to pop over. It's going to, so there's going to be 2 points right here, okay? And you kind of put your middle fingers on them. And what's going to happen is as you pull, you're going to push up on those spots. You see how those are now popping up? And then this whole thing, this triangle here is going to go the other direction. So you're changing the direction on that. And then at the same time, this diamond in the middle, if I kind of push it out, this diamond in the middle is going to go the other direction. So now, as you can see, it's starting to go the other direction. This is going to come down and be sink. This is a sink fold, so it's coming, it's opening up, and you're going to just change the direction. See how it's going the other way now? And then it's going to close up. That's the key. And once it closes up, the fold is complete. Okay? So that takes a little bit of balls to be able to just kind of open up the paper and push. But the key is these corners here. They were the other way. So let me do it again. Push it in. Usually I don't like to redo what I just did. But to demonstrate to everybody what's going on here. Because I realize this is a very tricky step. Let me show it to everybody here again. Okay, so everybody had it like this. And I'm assuming there's quite a few of you who are a little bit stuck right now. As we had before, we had this fold here. Okay, that was a fold we had made. We did not, because the instructions weren't clear enough, I believe, we did not fold all the way through the layers. So we had a little bit of makeup work to do. So to do that, what we did is we turned the paper over and we mimicked the same fold on the other side. So that's the first step. So as you can see, there's this flap here, okay? And we're going to do angle bisector. You're going to fold this across, so this edge now is lining up with this edge, okay? Fold it across, get that crease going. Push it all the way down inside of there, okay? Hopefully everybody's done that. Now, go back over on the other side. Now the key point is on the middle. You're going to open it up a little bit, okay? And you're going to see this crease here is going to go up, and it's going to, you can see in the middle they're creating an angle bisector. So this is going to come up, and there's a line in the middle, and that's going to have to line up with all the way in, and then it's going to come all the way down into this corner. Okay, so make that crease on the inside. Okay, now once you have that crease, what you're going to do is take note of at the top. You're going to see right here there's this triangle. Okay, that's the triangle we're focusing on. There's a triangle here, a triangle in the middle, and a triangle on the right. Okay, so the triangle in the middle, when you open it up, it becomes a diamond. Okay, that diamond, this big mountain fold, is going to have to become a valley fold. So that's the first thing to look at. Second thing is that this point, the point up here, is going to come out. It's going to be inverted. So if we focus on inverting that to start, I'm going to push it up. Okay, I'm popping the paper up. And when I do that, it's flattening this whole area up here. It's flattening it up, flattening it out. And then as soon as it starts to flatten, you're going to start changing the direction. So this now is going to come, this is going to go inside. As you can see, it's going inside like this. And as it's going inside, the rest is kind of closing there. But how do you know where it's closing? Well, this is going to have to come all the way. So hold on. This whole section here is going to have to, you're going to have to pop it out, and this whole triangle is going to go the other way. So you have to kind of push that out. I'm pushing it out. Same thing here. Push it out. Invert it. Okay, get that triangle going the other way. Okay, so now that these can come in, they've been changed, this can come in as well, and then we can flatten the model. Whew. Hope everybody survived. All right, now we are on step 24. All right, step 24, open the back leg. So we know that there's some valley fold here, and if you feel under the paper, there's already a ledge there, so we know that that's most likely the pivot point. If you open it up, you can see the paper opens right there. So we'll do that. We'll get that started. Now we'll look at the next step, 25. And as you can see, it's just one massive squash. So we're going to open it up, and this fold, a valley fold, is going to go from this point here all the way to this point here. Okay? And then it's going to go also all the way up to this corner. So it's basically one giant massive squash fold. Just make sure you get all the way up to the corner here. We'll take a look at step 26. See where these things land. So as you can see, this edge is going to end up lining up with this horizontal, this little square thing here. It's going to line up with that. Okay, so that's one key thing to look for. You don't want it to be like this. You want it to line up directly with that edge. Okay, and once you have that lined up, then you can feel confident that you can increase it all the way across here. Now this is not going to line up. There's going to be a little gap there. That's completely fine. That's normal. And the right, make sure it comes all the way down to a corner, okay? It's got to come down into a corner. Just like that, okay? Now everybody should look like that. And this is a perfect spot to take a break. We are going to continue this on Tuesday. This model is easily an hour long to fold, if not more, especially at the end, some of the shaping to make it look really, really beautiful. So we will continue this on Tuesday, starting at 5 o'clock p.m. Central. So, 皆さん、今日終わります。火曜日またおりましょう。火曜日午後5時から。Alright, so we're going to be folding from 5 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday, and I will see everybody there. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.